Hi everyone, welcome back to CCTV's monthly poetry segment. I'm your poet laureate, Sin Atiswe. I'm joined by a good friend of mine, Al Hastings, who we're gonna talk a little bit about poetry together today, and Al's gonna share one of their best poems. Welcome back, everyone. I also really quickly before we dive in, I want to go ahead and plug some of the local events happening. We're so excited to finally be underway with our youth and adult workshops at the Winchester Cultural Center. So twice a month, every second and fourth Thursday, we'll be at the Winchester Cultural Center. You can find more information on Clark County's website, and you can also find that information on my website or my Instagram or Twitter, Sin from Vegas. So we hope to see some of y'all there. We're also looking forward to restarting events here at the Writer's Block, which we have not been able to do in so long. So August 24th, we'll actually be having a nice poetry reading with Gabriel Cruz, and I'll actually be joining him, and Gabriel's bringing another fantastic poet. So we're looking forward to that. And not to plug all of my own personal events that I'm gonna be at, it just seems like I'm doing so much, but Sin and Friends is happening September 23rd, and Al's gonna be there. So if you love their poetry as much as I do, make sure you come back out on September 23rd. They'll be reading with me and a few other local poets. Hey Al.
Hey.
So how have you been doing?
I've been doing all right. It's so good to be here with you.
Yeah. And how about, instead of me telling it, because I feel like I talk too much on this show, how did we meet? Tell everyone.
Well, we met in the UNLV MFA program. So that was my first meeting with you was, 2016 now?
Yeah, little baby poets. Still figuring out what we wanted to do.
Yeah, still now figuring out. But yeah, that's how we met. So.
And I think it's just been incredible to see the growth in your work and the change in, because I feel like when we're starting out, there's so much that we want to say. There's so much that we want to prove with our work. Yeah. And then as we get older, and maybe this is kind of like a maturity thing too, we just kind of settle into it. Yeah. And I noticed that with your newer work. What advice do you have for younger poets looking for their voice, wondering what they want to say?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it is really hard because there's a lot of different people telling you different things about what poetry is or what it should be, or what works and what doesn't. And sometimes what they say can be kind of discouraging. And I would say that there's no rules in poetry, and that's a beautiful thing. It can be challenging to find your voice because of that, because you're wading through a ruleless sea of language and feeling and images and anything else. But that's like the beauty of poetry, I think. Yeah. And this fly agrees with me.
Yeah. I think that the kind of freedom that we're offered to be ourselves and to kind of step into that, it can be a little scary, but I think to encourage people to go that route is amazing. So what also then I think how has it, I'm gonna ask you the big question, right? How has it been writing in the pandemic? Have you, what was it like? Did you go through phases? Have you written much at all?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. And yep, I've gone through phases, I'll say. I have had bursts where I felt really in tune with my writing and really good about expressing myself. But honestly, I've tried to be really kind to myself about it and open with what comes out. It hasn't always been poetry. It hasn't always been anything. Sometimes it's been a random scene in a play, which is not something I've ever written before. But yeah, so it's been a roller coaster, I'll say.
Yeah. And is it the fun of the roller coaster ride that keeps you on it? Why? Because it's what keeps you riding?
Yeah, I would say the fun of the roller coaster ride. I think that the fun thing about writing is that there's so many different things you can do, and it can be really frustrating. I get really frustrated in those moments when, in the pandemic, it's really hard for the writing to come, even when maybe you have a little extra time or something, and there's that guilt that comes in, and so that is what puts me off the roller coaster. And I try to come back by just reminding myself to have fun, because that's why I love writing, because it is really fun.
Yeah. Okay. So I love this conversation so much, and I could talk to you forever, but I really want you to share a poem with the people.
Yes, of course. So should I share just one of the?
Yeah, whichever one you want.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna share my most recent. It's a recent work called Burnt Bridge. So, all right. Burnt bridge melts like wax, crash into the sea. That's okay. All over now. Nowhere to go, so I go to them. Medusa femme grabbing pizza by the river. They take their time, my cherry coke sweetheart, my jacketed midsummer sibling, such curtain bang glam. Here we are in our new times. They tell me to wait, so I stand in a mellow cloud of fry oil and get so hungry for any kind of resolution or any sense of what I want, or at least a break from the heat, or really anything carb-based, or anything sweet I can get, or any good news, or anything to do. I've spent so many evenings waiting for anyone but me to fall through. The holes in my skin keep letting everything go. Now, sweaty and nothing to be built. The sidewalk carries me just fine, though. Big pizza drips oil through 2 big paper plates, but I hear her shoes before I smell the grease. My stomach sings for more than one reason. The streetlights come on, dazzling earrings blue and green, soft beard, in sweet voices, and across the water, I almost hear an old life calling back.
Come on.
Thank you.
Oh my God, yes, please come out on September 23rd just to see Al. I'm not even, it's Friends in Sin now. That's amazing. That was so good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Of course, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah. And where can people find you online?
So my Instagram handle is ALI__ICE. So I love
Tricky.
underscores.
Yeah,
so
go find them. It's a hunt. My brother, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes,
I really
okay.
appreciate you.
Thank you everyone for being here. We'll see you next month.